Hey guys, my name is Jack, here again to show you guys a new product that we have out. This is called a boat in a box. As you can see right here on the lid, what this is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best diagnostic tools you can have for a boat to isolate problems and lower your repair times as well as your diagnostic times. So we have a few different things for this. First, we have our adapter for the box. Then we also have our adapter harness. Now this comes standard as a 10-pin harness to adapt to any 10-pin. This is your old Volvo Penta gasoline. This is also any of your Mercury engines with a 10-pin harness. We then have your next standard harness adapter, which is a 10-pin to 14-pin adapter. We also have our MEFI 5, so any of your Inmar/Ilmor engines would use this if they are new. We have our Crusader adapter, so this is our 10-pin to our Crusader ends. These are new Crusaders. Old Crusaders will still use just the regular 10-pin, so this will work with standard Crusaders of an older vintage. We have a Volvo Penta new style adapter. We also have a Yamaha adapter, which this has to be bought in tandem or will be with your 14-pin adapter. So you put these two in line and then you can connect the two together just like so. So now we have our 10-pin to Yamaha adapter. For DTS Mercury applications, we also have an inline source, so this will connect to your engine side, then one of these will connect to the boat, and then the other one will connect to our 14-pin adapter harness, which you can hook up, and then you will have the ability to test anything from here. The other thing with this is that there's also a nice little port with CAN P and CAN H. So you can use Mercury G3 or a scan tool and hook it up from right here, instead of having to find a port somewhere on the engine that may only have CAN P, not CAN H. We also have in our box two prongs that are brass, so they resist corrosion and they transfer electricity extremely well. They have anodized colored nuts so that you can tell which is positive and which is negative. We have a 15 amp breaker here. We also have a voltage gauge that tells you your current voltage. When you are cranking, this will show you your cranking voltage as well. We also have, for charging laptops or other devices, a cigarette style lighter and a USB adapter, so that in the event of you having to be at the boat a long time to diagnose, you have an ability to charge your tools. Here we have standard gauges. We have a tachometer, an oil pressure, temperature, and voltage gauge. So this will allow you to make sure that your engine is actually sending signals to your different gauges. So if your tachometer is off on your dash, is it an engine problem or is it a gauge problem? Because sometimes it can actually be an engine problem. We have seen that before where the ECMs are programmed wrong from the factory and they work like either a V10 or a V6 when it's actually a V8. Because your case of an 8.1, your tachometer signal is generated by the ECM, not by the ignition coils. Underneath here, we also have our alarm, which can be disabled. You have two ways to disable it. So either from here or from here. It will stay on all the time. That will allow you, for the alarm system, it will allow you to make sure that your alarm system on the dash should work. Because sometimes people do disable the alarm systems on engines. Now this is a very quick and easy setup to set up on any kind of boat. So this should not be a difficult item to use, and it's very easy to adapt any kind of harness to any kind of end. So now you have your Volvo Penta end. Now you have your Crusader end. This goes a long way in helping technicians diagnose whether or not the issue is a boat side problem or an engine side problem. This should eliminate the harnessing of the boat and the gauges so that you can just run the engine and figure out where it's coming from. Usually, when it comes down to it, it will eliminate half of your diagnostic time. This product is also extremely good for running engines outside of the vessel to make sure that once you've done a rebuild, you can run the engine without having to hook it all up to the boat, and that all the gauges and all the sensors work on a brand new rebuilt engine. If you have any questions, please give us a call. We will have a number down in the description below, as well as an email. Please give us an email or a call. The only way to order these currently is over the phone, so please let us know. The lead time currently during COVID is about 3 to 4 weeks, though we do have some currently in stock. So if you want to get those before the lead times get high, please let us know as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. We would be very grateful if you leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. We're trying to help out lots of boaters with all kinds of problems. So if you could do that, we would be very appreciative. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day. Hey guys, Jack here with S&J Complete Fuel Injection Services. I want to show you guys a new shop tool that I am recommending to everybody. This is called a boat in a box. We make these here in-house. They are something that I consider one of the best new tools on the market for the marine industry. There's not a lot of marine-specific tools out there. This can be used in a few different applications. So this has a adapter pin to our module, and then an adapter pin to a regular Mercury 10-pin harness. The other thing we have is we have all kinds of adapters for different engines, whether it be MEFI 5, Volvo Penta, Mercury 14-pin, all different kinds. And what this can allow you to do is isolate a problem that's either on the boat side or on the engine side without having to spend time breaking out a multimeter and being able to eliminate half of what you need to diagnose extremely quickly. This I consider a necessary shop tool for any kind of serious shop environment. So here we're going to hook up our boat in a box, just as easy as plugging it in right here. Now our tack is set for a V8, these are V6s, so the tack will be a little bit off, but you can pull this panel up and go behind here and reset to what cylinders you have. Now we're going to adapt this from a 10-pin to a 14-pin. This is a Mercury V6 14-pin. There weren't a lot of them, but there are a few of them out there, so we're going to adapt. And the problem we're having today is we get no power on either switch. But when we turn the ignition on here, on the key switch, you can actually see the gauges energized for just a second, and then they turn off. Okay. So now we've fitted our 10-pin to our 14-pin, and it's going to give you all gaugeability. Now, here we have our 14-pin right here. We're going to disconnect it from the boat. We are going to connect our diagnostic tool right here. We've got an abrasion resistant cable, and we can actually see, the other nice thing is when you're cranking, this shows your voltage right here. You can turn it off or on. You've also got a 12-volt cigarette lighter for any kind of laptop adapter that you might have, up to 15 amps, as well as USBs for if you have any kind of phones or any kind of tablet you're trying to charge through a USB. We also have a positive and negative terminal here if you want to test if you're getting power or ground if you don't see any kind of voltage. This is also really good for a power probe because this gives you a really clean connection to positive and negative. So you can actually test different things with the positive and negative. When we key on, you're going to hear an alarm. You can disable this alarm if you want. and we can see 12.5. Now it goes up to 13.1. And while we crank, you'll actually see the voltage drop. So this kind of tells us what our voltage is at the ECM while cranking. So engine's now running. We're getting 13.8, 13.9, 14 volts over here. Got about 150 degrees, 40 psi oil pressure. The tach is a little bit off. It's set for a V8, so it's showing about 450, but if you reset that, that'll probably be right around 650. And we can turn it back off. Now this eliminated half of what we needed to do. Instead of pinning out there, checking for fuses, doing all that kind of stuff, real quick, we just plugged it in. Took about 2 to 3 minutes, and we were able to tell that our fault lies with the panel up here. The fault does not lie with either of the engines. Alrighty, for any questions on this product, we do have them for sale. They are phone-in only. Please give us a call at 949-922-4180, and we'd be happy to get you one of these. Alrighty, have a great rest of your day.